name is Garen. I am the Assistant Controller at CS Disco. CS Disco is a legal technology company. We service plaintiff firms as well as corporations, their legal teams, and how they interact with the cases that are in front of them. So before Flowcast, we were managing all of our reconciliation through a Google Sheet and trying to keep track that way, although obviously you would prepare a reconciliation and then have to go to a different place to say that it was done. Now with Flowcast, it's obviously you go back into one internal system of truth and mark that it's done. And as a reviewer, I can go in and look at everything that's done, either by work stream or by person, and have it all in one place. We implemented Flowcast in Q2 of 2021, which happened to be at the same time as Disco was going through our IPO, which we went public in July of 2021. When we decided to implement Flowcast, we were given an amazing team to help us with that implementation. And worst case scenario, when you're busy and backlogged, is to be given a system that then requires a lot of manual work on the user side. But Megan, who was our system implementation expert, was incredible working with us. She was always available to meet, and she was very quick over email and any other correspondence that we had with her, asking how best can we implement what we're trying to accomplish. Most often I would send her an email asking her a quick question, and within the hour I had the answer. So it's nice to feel so supported by a team that understands what my pain points are and helps us cross the finish line. It did. When CS Disco decided to start the IPO process, one of the very first things that the accounting team had to decide is the management of close and trying to improve our close process something that we need to prioritize? And the answer to that was absolutely yes. So when we started looking at software partners that could help us improve our close process, Flowcast was the top of the list and has been a great decision since. We decided to go with Flowcast because not only could we gain more visibility into our reconciliations and close process as a whole to make it more accurate, but it allows us to track our progress in the SOX 404 compliance world. So when we use Flowcast to make sure that we are controls compliant, we highly leverage Flowcast to make sure that we are lined up both on the audit side and the operational side to succeed as a public company. When the pandemic hit in March of 2020, we went from a centralized accounting operation here in Austin, Texas, to a remote. And since then, we've also started hiring people out of state. So it's become incredibly important that Flowcast would allow our accounting team to work together both across state lines as well as across time zones. And all the features that Flowcast has to offer makes that easier to collaborate as a team, as well as coach people to do better, more efficient work throughout the month. Flowcast Analytics tab is incredibly useful. I spend, as a reviewer, a lot of my time in there looking at the progress throughout the close. And I love looking at certain areas that can be improved upon, especially after close, looking back to prior months and seeing what operational differences could be made if I maybe coached a person to work on one work stream before another. And so since implementing Flowcast, we've actually been able to get our close process down from 11-ish days to closer to 6 whenever it's time to get our 10Ks and 10Qs out the door. The best part is the user interface. What used to be an incredibly painful process, asking my team to go in, mark their documents as reviewed, and track their progress throughout the month, is now something that they know to go to first and something that excites them. It is sort of their proof of doing really, really good work, and they deserve the recognition for that. Flowcast is a great system. And as Flowcast grows as a company and within the industry, it looks really good on my resume and in my career that that's a system I was able to implement, especially while CS Disco was going through the IPO process. The greatest strength of Flowcast is its ability to change and grow with our team. So as we continue to grow as a public company on the control side, Flowcast can quickly change itself to adhere to who needs to be reviewing certain controls, what documentation is needed. As a public company, we're also growing internationally, and Flowcast's ability to expand with us both in team members and in the number of entities or parties interested in the close process has been incredibly helpful. The Flowcast team as a whole is incredible. They're fast to help us. They're also quick to understand what our pain points are. It's nice to partner with a company that understands what I'm trying to accomplish and helps us get there while also recommending what the rest of the industry is doing.